everyone! Today I am talking to you from my office. I'm here to show you a tutorial on how to arm knit. This is really popular right now, and we just thought we'd make a video to see if any of you still needed to learn how to make it. So I'm going to be teaching you how to arm knit today, and for that I'm going to need really thick yarn, really bulky yarn. So basically go to your nearest craft store, Michaels, Walmart, it doesn't really matter. Buy the yarn that you want for the project that we're making. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a cowl. So this is like a close scarf. The yarn that I'm using is really bulky. It means it's just really thick, and there's definitely thicker yarns than this, but this is just what I preferred for this project. It's just really soft. So I'm going to show you what this used to look like when I bought it from the store. Magic! Okay, so this is how it was when I bought it from the store, and it's a spool of yarn from Loops and Threads, Charisma, 109 yards, and the size is 5 bulky. So again, that just means it's thick, but there's thicker yarns in this. So this is what I got, and this is what you can buy at any of your craft store. Let's see if I can properly teach you how to arm knit without getting myself confused. So we're going to see if I can teach you this properly with my weird camera placement. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your both strands of yarn, that you're using as one, and measure out 6 arm lengths. So grab it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you're down to your 6th one, this is where you're going to make a slip knot. So take your yarn, take one over the other, and then pull it through the loop. That's your slip knot. So put that onto your right arm. And you can kind of tug at these two to tighten it a little bit so that it's nice and snug on your arm. Okay, so grabbing the yarn. So this is your tail, and this over here is your working yarn. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the working yarn with your left hand and take your thumb and wrap it this way. Okay? So you're going to go through the outside, inside, and out. So now it looks like this. Once you have it like this, you're going to let go of these 2 fingers and grab those make those 2 fingers grab your tail. So this is the shape you want with your yarn. Okay? So we're going to do that again. So you're going to grab your yarn, take your thumb, outside, inside, and around. Take these 2 fingers up and grab your tail. So this is the shape you want for your yarn. What you're going to do with this hand now is you're going to put it under and through this loop of your thumb, okay, all the way in, and then under the tail that's held over here, and back through the thumb hole. And then you're just going to tighten your yarn, and that's your first loop. We're going to do it again. So around, fingers up, grab the tail, through the loop in the thumb, under this part, and through that, and tighten it. Like so. Next one. Grab your yarn, thumb around, put these 2 fingers up, and grab your tail. Go through here, under here, and through there. And pull. You want to keep it snug onto your arm. So we're going to try and do a close-up because I know that this isn't the easiest thing to kind of capture with a camera, so I'm going to try my best. So let's try to zoom in. Action. This is the working yarn. Grab the working yarn, thumb around, 2 fingers up, grab the tail, go through here, under here, and through here, and pull. One more. Grab here, thumb around, 2 fingers up, grab the tail, hand through here, under here, and through there. And as you can see, you're starting to get the edge of your project. So this is where we're at now. We have our tail still hanging out. We have our working yarn left. And these are the loops that I have on my arm. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 loops on my arm, and this is the cast on. So this is the very first cast on, and now what we're going to do is we're going to knit our first row. We're actually going to start arm knitting. This was just casting on. And I promise you this is the easiest, like the rest of this is super easy. You've done the most difficult part of the whole project. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your working yarn and hold it in your right hand. And while you're holding it in your right hand, you're going to take the last loop that you added and take it off your hand and just keep pulling the working yarn. And this loop gets created, so you're going to put that onto your left arm. And then you're just going to tighten it a little bit to fix the tension, and all good. So hold on to the working yarn from here, take off your loop off your hand, and put your left hand through the loop. And then just help tighten a little bit of the tension. And so now you're going to feel really entangled, but really just hold on to the working yarn from your right hand, take off a loop, and add it to your left hand. And then just tighten a little bit so that it's like it's a tighter project. Hold on to your working yarn, take the loop off, add it to your left hand, and pull your working yarn a bit to tighten the tension. Okay, hold your working yarn, take the loop off, add it to your left hand, grab the working yarn, fix the tension. Grab the working yarn, take your loop off your hand, add it to your left hand. Fix. Take the working yarn, loop off onto your other hand, and then just do that for the last 2 that you have left. And that is officially your very first, that was tight, row. So here it is. So you have your cast on down here, first set of loops, and this is your first row right here. So the tighter the tension in between, the tighter the tension in your arm, the smaller the loops are going to be in your scarf. So what's going to happen now is the same exact thing, but back onto the right hand. Hold the working yarn with the left hand, take the last loop off, and add that to your right hand, and tighten the project. Hold the working yarn with your left hand, take the loop off, and then add it to your right hand. Hold the working yarn, loop off, into the right hand. So I'm going to do this for a total of another 5-6 rows just to show you what it looks like, and then I'll cast off. So here's my scarf at the end. Obviously I would go a lot longer if I was going to make a real scarf, but what we're going to do to cast off is this. You're going to knit 2 regular stitches, so that means you're going to hold your yarn, take the first loop off, and through the loop put it onto your left hand. So same as you've been doing for arm knitting. Tighten it to make sure that it's, a tighter project. Hold on to the yarn again and take off your second stitch and add it onto your left hand and tighten it. So now that you have 2 loops on your left hand, this is where you're casting off. So what you're going to do is you're going to take off the one that you put on first, take it off your hand, and as you see, I'm not going to put it through the working yarn, I'm just dropping the working yarn and I'm just literally taking it off my hand. And now I grab the working yarn and just tighten the project. Okay, so now we're going to do it again. So this one's on by itself, so we need another one to cast off. So I'm going to hold my working yarn with my right hand, take off the loop, and add that one onto my hand, my left hand. Use the working yarn to tighten the loops onto my left hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the first one you added and take it off your hand. Drop the working yarn. You don't want to put it through the working yarn. You literally just want to take it off your hand, off your arm, and grab the working yarn only just to pull and make sure that it all stays nice and tight. So grab your working yarn with your right hand, take off the next loop and add that one onto your left arm. Take the back loop over and off your hand and not through the working yarn. And then just pull. And you're going to do that with the rest of the loops. So add it on, drop the yarn, take it off, grab the yarn, tighten it, and take off these last 4 that I have here. Three more. Take it off, drop the working yarn, take the loop off, tighten your project, loop off, loop on, back over, and off your hand completely. Working yarn to tighten, and the very last one. Take it off and tighten. Alrighty. So now to close, what you're going to do is you're just going to do a last knit over. Just literally wrap it around your arm and knit this one off. There. So this is going to stay, this is where you're going to cut your yarn and make a knot, but basically this is your cowl, little tiny. This is the first row you did, and this is what it looks like when it's all done. So what you're going to do is at the end where you left off, this is where you're going to do a knot. So you're going to tighten the knot really, really, really hard, and you won't be able to see it, and then cut off and leave a bit like loose. If you're going to make a scarf, you don't need to leave a lot of your tail, just enough to kind of weave through. But if you're making a cowl, you're going to need to make it a little bit longer so that you can grab this end that you finished with and the end you started with, put them together, and then use this to weave it through and close off your cowl. And that way you'll have a nice closed cowl that you'll be able to put on, and it'll be nice and warm, and there you go.